Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is Top 4, Game 1 of the League Cup that happened at Die Hard Games on September 23rd, 2023. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format anyone wants, really. More info in the description, and check out Pokemon's event locator for more premier events at Die Hard Games, such as League Challenges, League Cups, and pre-releases. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that good stuff. But anyways, let's get into this top 4. Lost Zone versus Lost Zone rematch. Starting things off on the left here with flower selecting. Comfey's beautiful ability there. Lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, keep one of them, add it to your hand, and send the other to the Lost Zone. Very good way to make your way through the deck, get through the deck, and also send those cards to the Lost Zone. Pretty tough choice here, sending Raikou V to the Lost Zone. Comfey hits the bench. Active Comfey retreats into that bench Comfey, and the new active Comfey uses the second flower selecting to send electric energy to the Lost Zone. And that's about it. No battle VIP pass here. On the right, they start things off with a flower selecting of their own, taking a look at the top 2 and deciding what to send to the Lost Zone and what to keep. Palpad gone forever, in this game at least. Pokestop being played. Pokestop is a stadium card where each player may reveal the top 3 cards of their deck, add any item cards they find there to their hand, and send the rest of the discard pile. I see a Comfey, something else, and a Nest Ball. So looks like a couple items are found there. Nest Ball and Mirage Gate, I think. And Comfey goes to the discard pile, not too bad. Half of a battle VIP pass. Nest Ball being played here. Returning item card lets you search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Can you play Nest Ball if your bench is full? Let me know in the comments. Alright, Comfey is found off of that Nest Ball. Makes sense. These Lost Zone decks want to have at least 2 Comfey in play. That is part of their whole Lost Zone engine they've got going on here. Alright, so we have a way to retreat with the switch cart. Could use the escape rope, that works too. Escape rope is an item card that says your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon from their bench first, and then you do the same. So the second Comfey came up there and able to use flower selecting again. Sending a Cramorant to the Lost Zone. Ooh, but a small price to pay, I guess, to find that Battle VIP pass and slam it down. Battle VIP pass, you can only play it on your first turn. But when you do, you can search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Radiant Greninja and Manaphy being found there. Very good. Very good setup in this matchup. Do we have energy in hand to use Radiant Greninja's ability? We do not. Passing things over to the other Lost Zone player, who immediately plays a Course Experiment. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, send 2 of them to the Lost Zone and keep the other 3. Easy to send the Battle VIP pass to the Lost Zone. The Kyogre's okay to go to the Lost Zone too in this matchup, I suppose, because it's all about the Sable Eyes at the end of the game in this mirror match here. Flower selecting is used by the active Comfey here to take a look at the top 2. Keeping one and sending the other to the Lost Zone. Let's see what we've got here. Nest Ball. Interesting choice. Going to the Lost Zone. That other card must have been very important. At least more important than a Nest Ball. Was it the Ultra Ball grabbed? No. Either way, switch cart being played to switch those Comfeys. Second Comfey comes into the active and uses its flower selecting ability to send a electric energy to the Lost Zone. We're building up that Lost Zone. Looks like about 6 of them in there. So enough for Cramorant to attack, but not enough to use Mirage Gate yet. Nest Ball being played. Golden Nest Ball. Search the deck for a basic Pokemon. I imagine we'll see, yeah, we'll see Cramorant be found here since it can attack. But the player will go ahead and consult the deck, make sure there's not a better choice. That's something I always do, is look through and be like, is this the best thing right now? Yes. Cramorant, the League Cramorant, is found and put onto the bench. As I said earlier, it can attack for free thanks to its Lost Provisions ability. As long as there are 4 more cards in the Lost Zone, it can use its Spit Innocently attack for free. Not before a Pokestop is used. Pokestop, remember, revealed the top 3 cards of the deck, keep any items, and discard the rest of the cards. So, stinks, of course. Experiment was discarded, and a Psychic Energy was discarded. Battle VIP Pass is found, but that's useless right now. So, don't know if that Pokestop was worth it. We'll see. Lost Vacuum, okay, I guess we use the Battle VIP Pass with Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum, it says you send a card to the Lost Zone in order to play Lost Vacuum. And when you do, you send a Tool card or a Stadium card in play to the Lost Zone. So this is a way to build up the Lost Zone a little bit quicker on your side, and also get rid of things that your opponent can use, like that Pokestop. Pokestop going to the Lost Zone there. Now it's interesting in this matchup, you are sending your opponent's cards to the Lost Zone, helping build their Lost Zone a little quicker as well, if you target one of their cards with Lost Vacuum. But the opponent not being able to use Pokestop apparently is more important here than their Lost Zone, that being added to their Lost Zone count. So Comfey will manually retreat into Cramorant. Cramorant will Spit Innocently for 110 damage onto that opposing Comfey, taking the first knockout of the game. Play resumes on the right Lost Zone side. Comfey Flower selecting to draw a card and draw 2 cards and keep one and send the other to the Lost Zone. Let's see what our flower selecting choice is here. Dragonite V. Not as important to hit big KOs in this matchup. Radiant Greninja uses its Concealed Cards ability to discard an energy card and draw 2 more cards. I always debate if it's better to use Radiant Greninja first or Flower Selecting first, but next we're going to see a Pokestop come down here, and I think it was 3 fails. I went ahead and rewinded it to be able to catch things here. Sableye, Psychic Energy, and Course Experiment all hitting the discard pile. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. I wonder what they were searching for with that Pokestop. Something, obviously. Clara being the supporter of choice for turn. This time, Clara lets you put 2 Pokemon from your discard pile back into your hand and 2 basic energy cards. So a couple Comfey, I think. Yeah, a couple Comfey and a Psychic and Lightning Energy being added back to the hand thanks to that Clara. Sableye coming down to the bench. Comfey coming down to the bench. Switch cart, switching those Comfey out, and second flower selecting being used here. Sending a Mirage Gate to the Lost Zone. We have 5 in the Lost Zone now. Chorus cannot be played to add cards to the Lost Zone this turn, since you can only play 1 supporter per turn, but Lost Vacuum is what we'll see here. Lost Vacuum sending Raikou V and Pokestop to the Lost Zone. So now we have the 7. There we go. 7 cards needed to Mirage Gate. Mirage Gate's an item card. If you have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you can search your deck for 2 different basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Psychic Energy and Water Energy coming down on that Radiant Greninja. Water Energy being attached to the Radiant Greninja. Switch card, bringing the Radiant Greninja into the active spot. And Radiant Greninja loves to see no Manaphy in play, so that way it can use its Water Shuriken attack to full potential. Water Shuriken says deal 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. They could be in the active spot, on the bench, but we know what's getting targeted. Those 2 Comfey on the bench. Double KO. Play resumes on the left Lost side. Let's see, we have enough cards in the Lost Zone to Mirage Gate. Starting things off with a Super Rod there to shuffle back in a couple Comfey and a Psychic Energy back into the deck from the discard pile. You can shuffle any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard back to your hand with that golden super rod. Alright. We gotta recover this board here. Starting things off, of course, Experiment, looking at the top 5. Sending 2 to the Lost Zone and keeping the remaining 3. Tough choice here. We have to consult the hand to make sure we don't get rid of anything important and just lose this game off of a Chorus, Experiment, and bad Lost Zone choices. Alright, let's see. I gotta get 2 cameras, 3 cameras, get some cameras of the views of the people's hands. Alright, a couple cards being sent to the Lost Zone. Can't really see thanks to that beautiful, beautiful main character of this recording, the glare. We need another Comfey down. Cramorant can attack the Radiant Greninja, but with its 130 HP, it will not take the KO, only dealing 110 damage with Spit innocently. Need to see a couple more Comfey come down. A Radiant Greninja response attack would be pretty nice too, taking out the opponent's 2 Comfey on the bench. But I imagine if the player had it ready to go, they'd slam it. Let's go ahead and do a Lost Zone count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the Lost Zone. So we cannot Lost Mine yet. Hawlucha coming down, using its ability to put a damage counter on 2 of the opponent's bench Pokemon. Manaphy and Comfey taking the damage there. Water Energy being attached to the active Cramorant so it could retreat for next turn and Spit innocently for 110. Not the ideal turn there, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and play will resume on the right hand side here. We have 7 cards in the Lost Zone, so not quite in Sableye's Lost Mine range yet, but can get there easily with a Course Experiment and Flower Selecting to get 10 cards in the Lost Zone. Alright, see Mirage Gate in hand. I'm going to start things off with that Mirage Gate to search deck 2 different basic energy and attach them probably to that Greninja. We go again, get some more value in with the Greninja, not just a water energy being attached to the Greninja with Mirage Gate, so we must have a basic energy in hand or an energy in hand to be able to attack again to power up that water shuriken. Yep, you see a lightning energy actually being discarded with concealed cards to draw a couple cards. Psychic energy being found actually and put onto the Sableye there. Nest Ball being played to put a second Sableye on the bench. 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 7 cards in the Lost Zone, so we gotta see 3 more get there if we're gonna use Lost Mine this turn. Oh, that electric energy or lightning energy was hiding underneath the Greninja there. I didn't see it, I thought that was just 2 on there. Anyways, Greninja dealing 90 damage to the bench Hawlucha, more than enough to take the KO on it, and then doing 90 damage to the active Cramorant. It's is not knocked out, but has lots of damage on it. Sableye hitting the bench on the left-hand side of the field. Sparkly psychic energy being attached to that Sableye. And we need to see more Comfey. Alright, it'd be nice to at least make the way through the deck that much easier. We have plenty of cards in the Lost Zone, right? We have the 10 for Sableye. Interesting. Forest Seal Stone being debated about being attached to the Sableye, just to thin it out of the hand. You're going to see an Iono or something like that coming down. Let's see what our left-hand side Lost Zone player can do. Mirage Gate. Searching the deck for 2 different basic energy to attach to their Pokemon in any way they like. We're seeing a water energy being attached to the active Cramorant. And there we go, Disruption Supporter, Roxanne. That's why we thinned that Forest Seal Stone out of the hand. And some cards out of the deck. Roxanne, when your opponent has 3 or less prizes, you could play Roxanne. Each player shuffles their hand into the deck. The Roxanne player gets 6 cards off the top. The opponent gets 2. Really bringing down the opponent's hand size here. Looking for some disruption. And hopefully these were a good 6 cards, as these board states are very different right now. Players consulting their discard pile to see what things have been played, what things are available. Dragonite V hitting the bench. Energy Recycler being played. That lets you shuffle up to 5 basic energy from your discard pile back into the deck. Another Mirage Gate being played to most likely power up this Dragonite. A Water Energy and Lightning Energy being attached to that Dragonite with Mirage Gate. Palpad being played. That lets you shuffle up to 2 supporter cards from your discard pile back into the deck. Roxanne and Course Experiment being recycled there. Thanks to that Palpad, of course. Cramorant will manually retreat into the Dragonite, and Dragonite will take the KO. Are there only 2 energy on that Dragonite? Alright, let's see. Maybe Dragonite has another attack. Yes, of course. Dragonite has the first Shred attack. For 2 energy, it can deal 50 damage, so enough to clean up the KO on that Radiant Greninja. The right-hand side starting things off with a Flower Selecting, easily sending that Battle VIP pass to the Lost Zone. We have 8 cards in the Lost Zone now. 10 now with the Course Experiment, or we will have 10 thanks to the Course Experiment. Drawing the top 5 cards and sending 2 of them to the Lost Zone. Super Rod and Lost Vacuum being the Lost Zone targets there. Our player is now consulting their discard pile, seeing what's in there, what options we have available still. Escape Rope being played. The opponent promotes Cramorant, and the Escape Rope player plays promotes the Sableye into the active spot. We're going to see some Lost Mine here. As long as there are 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone, Lost Mine lets you put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. We are going to take the KO on the active. 3 of them going on the active. And enough to KO the Sableye as well. And put some damage on that Dragonite. 1 prize remaining for a right-hand Lost Zone player. Alright, how can our left-hand side Lost Zone player make the comeback here? It's going to have to start with Roxanne. But they're going to start actually with a Energy Recycler to shuffle back in some basic energy from discard to the deck. And then Mirage Gate will be played to accelerate some energy from the deck onto that Dragonite. Yeah, we have to do the big attack here with the Dragonite. Water and Psychic Energy being attached to that Dragonite, most likely just to thin the deck out, make the top deck so the draw is that much better. And Dragonite will take the KO on the opposing Sableye with its Dragon Gale attack, 250 damage. This attack also does 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon, but can't do damage to your bench Pokemon if you don't have any Pokemon on your bench. Anyways, we are debating on the right-hand side which Pokemon to promote. Sableye. We have the promotion there. Players looking through their discards, seeing what's there. Maybe a Super Rod's incoming, but not before a Course Experiment. Let's see which cards to keep and which ones to send to the Lost Zone. You can send that, to easy choices there. Forest Seal Stone and Battle VIP Pass to the Lost Zone. No V Pokemon in play, and we don't need that VIP Pass anymore. Super Rod, shuffling back in a Psychic Energy and 2 Psychic Energy and a Sableye back into the deck. Nest Ball, immediately finding that Sableye and putting it right back onto the bench. And we have the Sableye chain. Now we just need Psychic Energy to power up that Lost Mine attack. Hisuian Heavy Ball being played. That lets you take a look at your prizes and switch Hisuian Heavy Ball with any basic Pokemon you find in your prizes. None being found, so just burning that card. Psychic Energy being attached to the active Sableye, and we will see 12 damage counters come onto that Dragonite, bringing it to 140 damage. 80 damage, or 80 HP remaining on that Dragonite. So a Cramorant or a Sableye can take the KO next turn on that Dragonite. So we are in this dramatic endgame here. Players are taking a look at, or at least left-hand side players taking a look at all the resources that have been used on the opponent's side. They still have a healthy sized deck too, so plenty of options available. 6 cards in hand. Not looking good. Dragonite is, though, with its full art print and all that shiny, shiny golden energy on it, so that's all that matters, right? Yeah, not looking good. What else do you do? I don't think you play the Pokestop to give your opponent access to it this time. And our player is deep in the tank, thinking, what can I do? They potentially, since this is best 2 of 3 in Top Cut here, they should probably consider conceding this game and going to the next one just to have time, because it's best of 3, 60 minutes, so it is time, and if they lose this game, they'll have to win 2 more, have time to win 2 more games. Alright, Artisan being played here. But I don't know, I'm not the best in these time situations, or the best at deciding when exactly to scoop. So those are just some of my own opinions there on scooping in best of 3 time situations. Artisan being played. That stadium lets you search your deck for a non-rule box Pokemon and add it to the bench. It doesn't matter that you put something else down that could be Lost Mine, because Lost Mine already KOs the active Dragonite V, even if it's on the bench, if it's in the active, wherever. Of course, you are forcing a Lost Mine versus a Cramorant's Spit Innocently attack, but there is already a Sableye on the opponent's bench ready to go. Dragonite takes the KO on the opposing Sableye. Sableye is promoted on the right. Nest Ball being played to search the deck for a Drapion. Forest Steel Stone being attached to the Drapion. Forest Steel Stone can only be attached to Pokemon V, or it only has, Pokemon V can only use its V-Star ability. V-Star ability lets you search your deck for any one card. We see the V-Star marker being flipped there. Psychic Energy being found, attached to the active Sableye. Sableye will take the KO on either of the Pokemon on the other side of the field and take Game 1 of this top 4. What do you think of this video in the commentary? Please let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.